The anatomical soul of vocal art, the battle of breath and emotion in Gedda and Lemeshev's Kuda. We are honored today to be joined by renowned YouTube vocal scholar Follow RealTenor to explore a provocative and perhaps even subversive question in vocal theory. When technique reaches perfection, is emotion imprisoned instead? In the history of vocal performance, Nicolai Gedda and Sergei Lemeshev's interpretations of Tchaikovsky's Kuda stand as two aesthetic poles in stark opposition. Gedda's refined surface versus Lemeshev's echoes from the abyss. Their contrast reveals a fundamental rift at the heart of vocal art. Is singing the crafting of sound or the releasing of life itself? Gedda sings like a Swiss watchmaker, each note calibrated with analytical precision. Lemeshev, by contrast, resembles the wild forests of Siberia, letting breath grow freely from the soil of life. This confrontation goes beyond mere stylistic difference. It is a clash of breathing philosophies. The former carves emotion with the throat, the latter breathes soul through the diaphragm. Today, let us dissect vocal fold vibrations with the rigor of scientists and capture the flow of breath with the sensitivity of poets, as we attempt to solve the ultimate mystery of vocal art. Why do most singers, even after a lifetime of training, never truly sing a single adequate note? Question 1. Nicolai Gedda's vocal technique is often described as refined surface. What exactly does that mean? Answer 1. Refined surface is by no means a criticism of Gedda. On the contrary, it's a high-level summary of his aesthetic rooted in rationality. His vocal tone relies heavily on resonance in the frontal areas of the oral and nasal cavities, producing a sound that is precise, bright, and crystal clear. His high notes are handled with remarkable finesse and purity, and his phrasing is meticulously crafted. However, this type of resonance lacks the depth that comes from the chest and abdominal cavities, resulting in a thinner sound texture and limited emotional intensity. In terms of breath support, Gedda mainly uses micro-adjustments in the throat and glottal control. With relatively shallow airflow, he tends to simulate emotion rather than experience it. In Kuda, for example, though his depiction of youthful sorrow is technically flawless, it feels like admiring a painting through glass. One can marvel at the artistry but struggle to feel emotionally moved. This method of outlining emotion through technique, rather than living it through breath and being, makes his expression restrained and cool, especially in moments of emotional extremity. Question 2. Lemeshev's singing has been described as echoes from the abyss. How does his breath technique fundamentally differ from Gedda's? Answer 2. Lemeshev's voice seems to flow directly from the core of his life force. His secret lies in his use of coordinated abdominal and dorsal breathing. He practices pure abdominal breathing, not merely with belly expansion, but with the ribs and back also engaged, creating a spherical system for breath storage. The airflow is steady and deep like a river beneath the surface, calm above but surging within. Unlike Gedda, who sculpts sound actively with muscular precision, Lemeshev lets the breath guide the voice naturally. His throat is completely relaxed and the glottis opens and closes with gentle ease. In Kuda, for instance, when he sings the final syllables of udalilis, the tone sinks naturally with the breath, as though time had momentarily stopped and the emotion flowed directly into the listener's soul. This technique ensures that each vibration of the voice is imbued with authentic emotion. Every sigh becomes an outpouring of lived experience, not merely a technical display. Question 3. Why is breath considered the mother tongue of emotion? What does this perspective reveal about singing? Answer 3. Breathing and emotion are closely intertwined at the physiological level. Our autonomic nervous system instinctively adjusts our breathing in response to emotional changes. Anxiety brings rapid breathing, sorrow causes broken breaths, and excitement deepens it. These are not learned behaviors, but natural expressions of inner feeling. Genuine crying, for example, involves spasmodic contractions of the diaphragm. Deep grief often manifests as involuntary sighs. These are not consciously chosen, they are the body's most primal responses. Therefore, if singing remains confined to vocal cords and mouth shapes without triggering the corresponding natural breath reactions, then no matter how beautiful the sound, the listener will only perceive performance rather than feel genuine emotional resonance. True singing must reconnect breath and emotion at their source. Question 4. How did Lemeshev apply the philosophy of Tai Chi force to his breath control? Answer 4. Lemeshev's breath control can indeed be likened to the Tai Chi principle of storing and borrowing force. He did not control breath through brute force, but through centrifugal, momentum-following contractions of the abdominal muscles. His training was unique by visualizing poetic imagery, such as the scene of premature gray hair from Pushkin's poetry. He would guide his autonomic nervous system into a breathing pattern of sorrow, allowing the body to adjust its rhythm of breath spontaneously. Only then would he add voice. This means his emotional expression was not based on muscular memory or technical imitation, but arose from deep physiological responses within the subconscious. The resulting sound was natural and profound, entirely unforced, like spring water bubbling from the rocks, pure and untouched. Question 5. If a singer relies on shallow breathing like Gedda, are there concrete methods to rebuild the breathing system? Answer 5. Yes, and it can be structured into 3 clear steps. 1. Breathing revolution. The first step is to completely shift from chest breathing to coordinated abdominal dorsal breathing. During inhalation, the singer should feel outward expansion simultaneously in the area in front of the navel, the sides of the waist, and the back. During exhalation, the abdomen remains slightly expanded, and the chest must not rise. The airflow should naturally drive the sound, not the throat. 2. Vocal deconstruction experiment. Use a feather placed in front of the mouth to test airflow. If the feather only moves at the start or end of a phrase, the breath is fragmented. If it sways consistently throughout the phrase, the breath is continuous. An advanced variation includes performing this while singing melodies, ensuring the breath supports even during rapid or varying passages. 3. Emotional programming. Mark the emotional tone of each phrase directly on the score, e.g., wistful, sighing, passionate. First, use only breath to perform the emotional arc, then overlay the voice. The ultimate goal is to convey emotional atmosphere through breath alone, achieving a true integration of sound and feeling. Question 6. How does Lemeshev's river metaphor reveal the ultimate essence of singing? Answer 6. Lemeshev likened the aria to a river. He said, "Sound waves are only the shimmer on the surface. What truly supports singing is the unseen riverbed below, that is, the breath system. A great singer never merely chases the brilliance of surface sound, but first builds the structure and flow of the breath. Only with a profound foundation of airflow can sound become a vessel for carrying emotion." For example, in his 1954 recording of Kuda, right before the first Kuda, there is a 0.5-second preparatory sigh. During that moment, he activates the full abdominal breath system while completely relaxing the throat, creating a silent emotional explosion. This kind of subtlety is far more moving than any accumulation of technical skill. A sigh is not a sound, but it can surpass 1,000 words. Breath is the true soul of singing. Question 7. Based on the contrast between Gedda and Lemeshev, why is the ultimate state of vocal art described as surrendering to the breath? Answer 7. Gedda's singing reflects a high level of control, while Lemeshev demonstrates complete trust and surrender to the breath. In the end, singing is not about controlling sound, but about letting the breath drive the sound and the emotion guide the breath. When a singer stops trying to express with the voice and begins to breathe with their soul, the sound emerges naturally. Lemeshev's art proves that what truly moves people is not technical perfection, but the union of breath and emotion, the whisper of life itself. As the final reflection puts it, In the moment, one surrenders to the breath, vocal art completes its quantum leap from craft to life. Question 8. Many people feel that Gedda's middle register sounds hollow, as if he sings middle notes using a high register placement. What causes this? Answer 8. This impression is quite accurate and stems essentially from an imbalance in resonance. Gedda continues to use nasal and forward oral resonance even in his middle register, which shifts the vocal fold vibration higher. This leads to 1. Lack of chest resonance foundation. The voice lacks low-frequency overtones supported by the chest cavity, making it sound thin and restless. 2. Disconnected resonance system. The middle register, which should sound grounded and natural, becomes tightened by high placement, resulting in stiffness and unnatural tone. 3. Incorrect breath compensation. To sustain this high-position singing, he likely compensates with laryngeal tension rather than abdominal pressure, further weakening vocal stability. In short, this creates a false illusion of singing low with a high setup, sacrificing vocal continuity and natural flow for a fleeting sense of brightness. Question 9. Caruso is said to have sung high notes from a middle register placement. Technically, how is this fundamentally different from Gedda's approach? Answer 9. Caruso's high note technique is fundamentally different from Gedda's in 3 key aspects. 1. Lowered resonance anchor. Caruso always grounded his sound in the chest. He didn't pull the voice upward through the throat, but allowed elastic breath support to propel the sound upward. 2. Overtone stacking. Even on a high C, his chest resonance components retained over 40% presence, resulting in a tone both brilliant and full-bodied. 3. Dynamic vocal tract adjustment. Caruso shaped his soft palate and vertically expanded his pharyngeal cavity to naturally adjust resonance, rather than rigidly lifting the oral cavity to chase high overtones. More crucially, Caruso's vocal fold closure used a spindle-shaped damped oscillation, which allowed the chest overtones to continue resonating. Gedda, on the other hand, often used an edge vibration mode, membranous vibration, which easily cuts off low-frequency energy and causes the sound to float and thin out. Question 10. Why does Gedda's singing sometimes give the illusion of higher pitch? What warning does this illusion offer to vocal students? Answer 10. This illusion arises from a psychoacoustic phenomenon called high-frequency masking. When the 2 to 4 kHz overtone region, also known as the singer's formant cluster, becomes overly dominant, the human ear can mistakenly perceive a rise in pitch. Gedda intensifies energy in this band through pharyngeal constriction, making his pitch seem higher than it actually is, although the fundamental frequency remains unchanged. This offers crucial warnings for voice students. 1. Don't over-pursue brightness, as it can distort the natural energy balance between fundamentals and overtones. 2. Avoid vowel distortion, such as squeezing A into A to chase higher placement, as this undermines linguistic musicality. 3. Don't rely on long-term constriction to create sound, as it may cause thyroarytenoid muscle fatigue, used for glottal closure, and accelerate vocal aging. Truly healthy singing arises from natural airflow, which organically forms resonance and overtones, not from artificially compressed illusions. Question 11. How do you personally advise students regarding this issue? Answer 11. I've often said that 99% of today's tenors cannot sing the middle register correctly. They sing middle notes using a high register setup. What we call the high register setup refers to the breath position above the vocal folds. In reality, a good middle register is positioned lower. Historically, many baritones understood this. The correct middle register emerges about 1 centimeter below the collarbone. Today, nobody sings this way anymore, and that's a matter of... Once placement is accurate, all problems can be solved. To sing high notes, you simply keep the breath anchored in the same position without moving it upward. Then adjust the mouth, nose, soft palate, and laryngeal angles accordingly. To sing low notes, drop the breath position, as if striking a deeper internal piano key below that same collarbone spot. Strong notes will naturally swell from below the chest, so a tenor must first learn to sing the middle register correctly. Today's tenors all sing their middle range wrong, and they don't even know it. Lemeshev showed us what a true tenor middle register is.